Let's go into the two income stocks that we will talk about today. Okay, so the first one is obviously a REIT. This is when I choose this REIT, this is on assumption that we already have these REITs in our portfolio, which all these REITs, if you can see here, so all these REITs were discussed in the first half 2024. Of course, if you're interested, you can just go and trace back. All the videos are there. And for the second half, in last month, September, we actually talk about StarHue Global. And before August, we talk about Paragon REITs. So this REIT is chosen on the basis that we already have all these REITs in our portfolio. Okay. And the REITs for this month that we choose, again, this is just a quick refresher of why we choose what we choose. So basically, I have narrowed down all the REITs that is in my watch list. Again, if you're interested, you can actually look for I think the July or the August video. And these are the REITs in my watch list. And how I differentiate this is this, do I actually look at the MPI, are they going up or down? So obviously I'll prefer those that MPI has actually went up. MPI stands for net property income. Okay. Then of course, ideally we are also hoping for the DPU to go up. Okay, but nevertheless is the four REITs down here. Okay, they are sort of more better off than the REITs down here, whereby the MPI went down, the DPU went down. Okay, so given that we have looked at StarHue Global and Paragon, so in this list, what really catch my interest is Capitaland, Ascendas REIT, so which is what we are going to talk about it today. So Capital Ascendas REITs, so all these are quite standard. Hopefully by now is very straightforward to you. So number one, business analysis, we look at the portfolio. As you can see here, they are in industrial properties. So I think later there's a list of what does industrial means. And they are no longer just in Singapore, even though they are dominant in Singapore. So based on, this one should be based on asset value, okay? 64% of them are in Singapore. So they have also properties in United States, Australia, and United Kingdom. So as per what the numbers here state. So obviously it's still predominantly Singapore. The properties are actually in Singapore. Now, when you actually invest in industrial REITs, especially if most of the properties are Singapore, so this is sort of one, I would say, disadvantage or one risk we have to consider. So in Singapore, the land tenure for industrial properties, it actually ranges from 30 to 60 years. Okay, so of course, this REIT has been there for a while. So you can see that, in fact, they have about 28 properties. Okay, you can do a maths, probably about less than 1% of them, they only have less than 30 years lease left. So that is something that we have to live with if we actually go for this. Of course, if you don't like this, then you can avoid industrial REITs. But end of the day, to me, diversification is important. So, yep, so this is the risk that I choose to accept or no choice. Okay. So what happened when the land tenure actually expires? So of course, usually what I understand here is this, at least when I spoke to the REITs manager, what I understand here is this, they just need to top up. Okay, they can actually top up. Then after that, extend the lease for another 30 or 60 years. But the amount to top up, or how much is it? So we don't know yet at this point in time. Okay. So the good news is that it doesn't mean that, oh, after 30 years, the property is gone. But very likely they have to pay up a sum to extend the list. But how much is it? I don't think anyone is able to know right now. Only upon the end of tenure, then we will know. Okay. But for this REIT, the good news is you can see that less than 30 years is only, as you can see, 2.6 out of 116 million. So on that note, is actually not a lot, not a lot of them. Okay, also not a lot of them. So I think I'm still quite comfortable with such a number. Okay, so a breakdown of industrial REITs. So you can see that industrial is no longer just factories. So they have actually split into this few main parts. You have business space. So Ascendas actually have quite a bit of their properties, business space is simply office. Okay, offices like the R&D centers. So Ascendas, of course, if you go to like Science Park, most of the properties are actually for under Ascendas. Okay, so you not only see factories or warehouse, you can see like R&D centers or offices. So this one is slightly different from the rest of the industry. So of course, they also have logistics. They are also slowly going to data center, as you can see, not large, but they're going in. And of course, you have things like industrial and life science. So what I want to really show in this chart here is this, industrial is no longer, again, okay, factory, but you can see now that it's actually more varied, but they're all parked under in, why I still call this industrial REITs, because the land is called industrial land. Okay. So same thing, usually I just download from the presentation, their half year. Now it's half yearly presentation where do their financial reporting. So the main numbers I look at, the overview is the occupancy, portfolio occupancy. Anything more than 90% is something I can accept. So for this REITs, the occupancy actually came down. Why am I still okay is also because later you see the price is also sort of adjusted downwards. So I think as I mentioned before, diversification is important. Is this is this good? Obviously it's no good. Occupancy cannot is actually bad. But end of the day, diversification, if you ask me, is more important than picking up the best REIT only. So I would rather diversify than, always choose the best REIT only. So that eventually my portfolio have a diversified portfolio of REITs. As of now, I believe I should have close to about 25 to 28 REITs in my portfolio. Okay, so why this REIT is chosen? Mainly because of this. You can actually see that the MPI actually went up. So in fact, you can see that the DPU okay, compared to the previous half year actually went up. So the number I shown before is I believe is based on the previous half year. But based on the latest, you can see the DPU went up. So just from this MPI alone, it actually stand out compared to many other REITs. As you can see earlier in that chart, not all the REITs have their MPI increases from half yearly from half year to half year. So this is in fact something that caught my attention, and I think this one stand out, and that's why I'm also happy to choose this REIT. Okay, so this is the dividend profile. Unfortunately, it's not ideal. Okay, you can look at the rightmost column. Okay, so by right for 2019, it should be 15.638. So this number is only for 3 quarters. So if you were to add the fourth quarter 2018 numbers, okay, it's 15.638. 2020 COVID, it came down. Okay, then slowly come up. Okay, then I think this 2023 got hit by interest rate, went down again. So again, this is not ideal, but the saving grace is the price have compensated for it. Again, later from the pricing analysis, you see why, even though not ideal, I can still accept this REIT. So very standard. The next, we actually look at the financial statement analysis. Look at the debt. Aggregate leverage, I need it to be less than 40%. This one's a pass. Interest cover more than 3 times pass. So I have no worries about their debt situation. Okay. And let's come to the pricing analysis. You can see here, this is the current price. Okay, 2.71. So based on the date of the investment gathering. And if I just take the past 12-month dividends, it's actually 0.14965. So how I get this number? 0.14965. So basically, I take 7.524 plus 7.441. Okay, so this is how I get the latest 12 months. And yep, if I were to calculate the current yield based on this number, the past 12 months dividend, divide by current price 5.5%, And if I do the past 5 years, the fair yield is about 5.2 lah. So, again, as per what I explained just now, they based on the DPU is not ideal, based on the occupancy is not ideal, but the price has actually come down to a range whereby the current yield is higher than the fair yield. Okay, so fair yield is basically I just take the dividend yield over the past 5 years, I average it out, okay, 5.2, and I think above is still below the REIT's price is actually below the fair value. So I still think it deserves to be added into the portfolio.